Guys, so I'm back. It's Wednesday, November 8th, and I'm doing a reading on Rona Graff. Several people have requested a reading on her, and for those of you who don't know, she's a longtime personal assistant of Donald Trump, and she's worked in the Trump organization for apparently 30 years or more than 30 years, something like that. So I know that the reason why many people are asking for her a reading about her is that she was one of the people included in the email, the famous email chain from Donald Jr. about the meeting with the Russian lawyer, and she's thought to be the. It's not that she's Donald Trump's closest confidant, but she's the loyal member of the family, and she's an assistant. So it's like I just feel like I'm sure she knows a lot. Okay, she knows, quote unquote, where the bodies are buried. She must know, at least if if she's been there all along, then she must know a lot. Okay, so I I wanted to do a reading on her because this week also came news that Keith Schiller, another long-term employee of Trump's, his bodyguard, is going to be or was interviewed because he supposedly delivered Comey the letter, and apparently I don't remember it correctly, but apparently the letter that he delivered to Comey is different, and from the letter that he made public or something like that. And the original letter he sent Comey, he hand delivered to Comey. He mentions that the reason why he fired him was because he was meddling in the Russia investigation, meaning meddling. He was he continued the Russia investigation. So anyway, okay, so that's just want to go back to Rhona Graff and a couple of before I really get started with the reading. I just want to mention a couple of things. First, that I want to. I feel like do I talk about it yesterday? Or maybe I will. Um, I I'm very how do I say this? I'm very committed to positive um, positive outcomes, and I feel like I said, I've mentioned this before. I've done a lot of. I have another life, and I've done some research, let's say, on propaganda and disinformation. Okay, and I've noticed I've received comments recently. This is like so crazy. This is so bizarre, but I wanted to tell you just so you know what's it's insane. So you know that I have a couple of videos about Robert Mueller, and I love him, and I talk about it. I don't think there's anything out of the ordinary about it, right? Because he's the only person who seems to care about justice and truth, right? So then I get these messages. I posted my, by the way, I posted my email address, I think yesterday or a couple of days ago or something like that. And then I got this message, like a really kind of, it's not scary, but it was obviously the syntax was not, it was a foreign writer. I could tell several things, but they were saying, like, oh, Robert Mueller is, all the FBI agents are rapists. And Robert Mueller, he knows everybody's a rapist, but he doesn't say anything. It's just like really lies and horrible disinformation. I know the funny. Okay, this email was like so funny. It said, "Robert Mueller controls the minds of women in order to make them fall in love with him." Like, hello. No, I think he's doing his job. That's why women love him, because we have a vacuum of leadership in this country. FYI. So anyway, so I just wanted to tell you that when you have, and I sometimes I think I have very strong opinions about these things, and then, well, but that's the point, right? I'm doing this because I have all these questions and I have an opinion and I'm curious and I stand for something. But I just wanted to share. This is like so strange. It's part of it, right? Because I realized reading all the comments that people seem to connect with my personality, I guess. And I've always been very awkward and um, very shy, and I don't talk a lot, whatever. But But anyway, this was interesting. Okay, so that the fact that I openly say that Robert Mueller is a great person and that we can trust him creates makes some people want to reach out to me in order to attack Mr. Miller, and that's not going to work. Okay, if you're listening, it's never going to work. Okay, all right. And by the way, I want to say this. Okay, so that's okay. Well, I'm going to stop there, but I just wanted to share that information and say that I yes, I have now an email address attached to this video, and that's that. Okay, so going back to Rona Graff, I really don't feel like she has anything to do with this, right? Like she's just a person who is doing her job. I think ultimately, yes, maybe her boss is crazy and so forth, but anyway, that's how I feel about her. My initial feeling about her, and I look at her reading, and that's how I went into it, thinking, okay, I've done readings about people I truly don't like, but this person, I feel like she's an innocent person caught in a crossfire. Okay, so I did the reading for her, and now I'm thinking, am I really? What's the word? Am I not seeing what's here? Because there are some very negative cards, but I feel like in this case, it's because she's seeing what's happening, and in the end, I feel like she cuts the deal. But I'll tell you, and maybe who knows? I find it interesting how once I talk to you guys about the reading, I show you the cards, then I understand their story a little bit better, and it clarifies my mind. But I'll show you. So this is because you know what I'm feeling, that I don't want anything bad to happen to her, but there's a lot of really bad cards around. So I'll just show you, and we'll eventually come to the full story when the reading ends. Okay, so here's the first card. The card that always comes for people in trouble is the Scythe. Okay, and this is okay, and this is also the card of like this is a card of very painful endings, and this is a card of sudden endings. So I'm thinking, okay, you know what I mean? I just don't want anything to happen to her. I hope nothing happens to her. And underneath, it's a lot of obstacles and a person who's very worried. Okay, so what I'm hoping this means, okay, and this will be backed up by the left side of the reading, which I'll go into right after this, which is the basis for everything. What I'm thinking here and what I'm hoping is the meaning is that she sees that the ending it's over. She's seeing everything. Now it's completely over, and she's seeing all the problems that are happening. She sees it. I feel like she sees everything with clarity. Okay, she could see what's happening. Okay, that's her perspective, because this is the now. Okay, this is where she is right now. So either because these two cards are right there, they're so horrible together that I feel like I don't. Yeah, I don't. I mean, it can't be good in any way. There's no, under any circumstances will be seen as negative. But I'm hoping that it's it's the recognition of how bad it is. Okay, that's what it is. All right. So maybe it's that she's been working for this person and now she realizes that it was a huge mistake and so forth. But I'll just, like I said, I'm just going to get into this, and then we'll come to the story together. Okay, so the first on the left, top left, that's when the reading, the background of the reading starts. We have the Lovers upside down, which means, I think, partnership gone wrong or something off with the partnership or a choice. And then we have, of course, the election card. Okay, there's a problem with the election. Okay, issue to do with the election. And underneath this, we have this card, which I talked about yesterday in the Betsy DeVos reading, which is about poverty and money problems. Okay, and this is the dog, which I think is her. It's the card of the loyal person, the friend. So it's showing, I feel like if you think of a movie, it's the first shot. It's showing us, there's a, like the movie starts and it's a problem with the election. Okay, about the wrong partnerships in terms of the election, and then there's a person who's very loyal who's facing money problems or could face money problems, okay? And then we have a person looking into the first I've showed you before, and it's here. Let me show just compare you. This card appears in forward, but I'll show you a comparison between these two cards. Okay, I'm going to talk about this one, but just to compare the two because it's relevant. On Two of Wands, the person is making the plan. The person is looking at the world, okay, and making a plan about the world. Here, the plan is about to be executed. So the person has moved from this and is at the early stages of execution. Okay, so this is, in a way, it's sort of like theoretical, strategic, conceptual. It's about the plan. And this is about putting the plan into place. It's still early stages, but this is where it is, okay? And so this is the coffin, which is a card of the ending. So what I get when I get this two together, I feel like she's looking at how she planned things were going to happen, and she realizes it's coming to an end. Whatever plan she had is coming to an end. And then we see here another very negative card for her, justice turned around. Okay, negative connection with justice, meaning she's caught in the wrong side of justice, okay? And then we have here reputation. So she's thinking, okay, let me put this because you read them like this. My reputation is over. The plans I had are not going to happen. Justice is coming after me. Okay? And then this leads to the center, which like I said, a very painful ending and a lot of worry. All right? Okay. So that's part one of the main reading. Part two of the main reading is that it shows the conception. Okay? So this is like the planning, the conceptualizing stage, and a woman who's a snake. And underneath here is a card of burden, a person who has burdens. Too much work, she's carrying too much on her back. She's a messenger, okay? And it's funny because what I've read is that, when people say, oh, if you want to reach out to Trump, you have to get to her. She is the person who gets the messages to him fastest, okay? So if we put these two together, what I feel it says is that she was there in the conception stages. And if we think about what we know about the investigation in terms of the letter that mentions the collaborations of the Russians, she was there, okay? And she's like, she knows too much, right? She's burdened. She knows too much, and she's the messenger. And the fact that she's shown as a snake here tells me that she was observing, but that she will eventually tell what happened, okay? And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you more. Okay, this is, again, okay, I'll tell you more. Okay. So the final column on this first part of the reading is asserting. This is a card of asserting herself, being confident, and the White House. So what this confirms is that, again, she's actually very powerful because she gets through. Unlike a lot of the people that we've seen, they always get this card like this. But she gets it upright, so I feel like she definitely has a good connection to the White House, and she gets through. And this is, okay, money upside down. So this is, to me, this, in the context of the question, it shows that the shady money dealings and Fox. So it's saying that I'll connect this. She knows about this, like, shady money dealings behind the scenes. Okay, and this, I'll show you this here, okay? These two, the row combinations, okay? So this is like this. So it's showing me here, this is, right, so she's the messenger, right? And she connects, she's burdened because she knows, this confirms, right? She knows the shady dealings behind the scenes. There's the shady ways of making money behind the scenes, okay? The shady shenanigans around, like, behind the scenes, okay? So then, again, to show you another row story about the row. So here's the snake that was there at the planning stages, who can get through to the White House. Okay, so that's, I feel like that's her role in that sense. Okay, so I feel like whenever snake means, like I said, means problems, it also means a person who has a dual nature in the sense of the story. Right? What is she doing? She's observing, she's there, but she also has a more detached perspective. So then I pulled three more cards because I really didn't believe that. Let me, you know what? I've never done this, but let me just pull out three more just in case. I really don't think that more is going to come to her because I feel like, okay, hold on, let me 1 second. I'll just finish. I'm just at putting the reading together as if it was for the others who um who um who had actual issues. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, I don't think because so I was probably pausing now just for the first time I've done this, which is, well, as I'm recording the video, I'm pulling out some more cards because I wanted to make sure that she's not, nothing bad is going to happen to her. I guess that's what, in a way, this is like I'm pushing for it. I feel like, right? I don't want anything really bad to happen to her, and I feel like it's because okay. Here's what I think. I think she's going to talk for the reasons that I've said before. Because I feel like she's a loyal person. She doesn't have a lot of money, and I feel like I am pushing. I'm not pushing, but I can see that I'm consciously wanting to see this reading from a perspective that she's not going to go to jail. Nothing really bad is going to happen. But I feel like I feel that, yeah, in the end, the very end, I don't believe, I don't see here that, like, the terrible cards, the bad cards that happened to her have already happened towards the beginning. So I'll just go over the cards again and show you what it says. So for the one before I pull out these extra cards, this is how we ended. Okay, so this is a person who's very aggressive, who has a lot of energy, and sometimes can be feisty. It's like a fire person. Okay, kind of like a fire energy, too much fire. So it could be too aggressive, anger management problems, and a child. So it's like, of course, we know that speaks about the president, an immature person who has anger management problems. Okay, and and so this is like working on the wrong thing and a deal to work on the wrong thing. And this is her, I think. Okay, this is Rona. All right. And this is a letter. So we know that that she is very aware of all this letter, the so-called letter to the Russian lawyer. This is her, okay? So it's just showing, because this is the word that I normally would use to say what is the story that Robert Mueller is going to tell about her. Okay. So what I see here is that she's a witness, right? The story would be because she is not in the first person is here. She is here. Okay. So the first person is the president, right? So the president has anger management problems. He's working towards the wrong thing, and he made a deal here. And she is here. She's very aware. The letter is here, right? And there's a letter about this business deal. Okay. All right. And then after these are the extra cards that I pulled, okay, to say that normally this second row that I'm going, it would be the second row. So the second row that I talk about would be the part where she discusses what is she going to tell, right? And the negative, I don't believe that it's she's saying anything bad. I believe she's just telling the situation as is. I feel like this is a card of fighting. Normally it comes out to these group of people as upside down. But this is just a card of a lot of disagreements, fighting. Not super bad. It's just like a lot of fighting, a lot of competition, okay, and guilt. This is like I said, a card of guilt. So okay, let's leave it up for now. Okay, so this is a hard time, like I said, a hard time juggling all the responsibilities, corruption, ill-gotten gains, okay, wrong harvest, basically, and a lot of meetings and conversations about this. So I feel like what I get from this is that she's telling more. This is what she's saying. It's not her. It's the story that she's telling. Okay, she's talking about the lot of the different conversations. And in a way, if I see this card in the context of the question and everything else, I feel like she's saying, the cards are saying, this is the guilt. This story of all the competition, the infighting and so forth, this is a story of guilt. It's the story of them not being able to handle all the corruption and all this stuff that's going on. It's too much, okay? And conversations and meetings about ill-gotten gains, okay? Because again, I don't feel like she is, maybe I'm projecting, I really truly don't believe that she's the person. She's obviously very passive, right? But she's not, I don't think she's this person who's like fighting with everybody and like having a hard time dealing with all the corruption. I don't, you know what I mean? Handling the commitments of corruption and theft. So I really, like I said, I believe this is her telling this depicts her telling the story of what she's seen. Okay. And I'm thinking, so the last row is, what's the final story? How does it end? And it says, like it's like a lack of clarity in public. Something about a misguided win, or something about like a wrong choice in public. The Fool, which is a new beginning. The new beginning has a lot of problems, which you could discuss. You could argue that this is about the current moment of the president, right? He's acting. It's like this new beginning that was supposed to be new and exciting only finds problems. Okay, so there's problems in the public, and at core, it's an illusion. At the heart, is an illusion. Okay, so that's how I see. Okay, I don't, like I said, I don't. For some reason, I don't see. This is just telling me more about the full story. What's happening? Okay. It tells me more in a way about Trump and everything she's seen that it tells me about her. Okay. And I just pulled out more cards. Yeah, I don't think that this is, like I said, I feel like I am giving us, in a way, I wonder if I'm giving a slant to the reading that's positive to her. Okay. But I feel like I just don't see that. I just don't think that she is guilty of all these things. I feel like there's a card of her talking. Okay. Like I said, I really believe that the meaning here, in a way, is encompassed by the first row that I described, which is when she's dealing with the man, the baby, with the anger management problems, the deals about the ill-gotten gains, and witnessing the letter, okay, and yeah, I feel like that's what she's going to add, and actually, now that because the big mystery for me about this reading is this part, the center, like, why is this so bad to her, when I feel like, why, would they? I just don't understand. I don't think she has done anything wrong necessarily. I guess she's a witness, right? She was there. She's not the main person, obviously. But what I'm feeling here is that she probably didn't want to give them whatever information, right? At first, if you're part of this, you don't want to just give them anything they want. And maybe what they're doing is they're really pushing her. They're saying, okay, we're going to indict you, okay? Do whatever you want. Beware that if you don't talk, you're going to be indicted. And that's probably what's happening, okay? And then the story is told after this, like, massive, like, they're squeezing her, right? They're pushing her to tell what she knows, and then she tells everything she knows, and that's the story. I don't get, it's funny, I don't get much about her in terms of her life, and it's more like I am being told this story from a witness perspective. That's what I feel. Okay, this is it's not about her and her life, because again, maybe the reason why I'm getting this is because she really didn't really participate, right? She wasn't a as I say, conspirator, but right, she's not a person who came up with all this, whose name was right. She's just somebody who worked for the guy, and again, this is probably why I'm getting all these cards that are very detailed. But and I feel like she's definitely going to talk to them, but I don't. Yeah, I don't. Or I hope it's not like, right, because we would know, again, like I said, maybe she might. I wonder if she's been indicted. Okay, I really do, because I wonder if they've said to her, okay, we're going to indict you regardless. It's possible, but I believe that in this case, like I said, she's a witness to a lot, and I feel like that's ultimately what her role is going to be in history, right? She's a witness to a lot, and I feel like she will talk. Okay, yeah, because she's depicted as a snake. So whenever I see the snake in this context, I really feel that she is stalking. She's not as loyal, right? But I mean, why would you be? Because you're facing probably life, the rest of your life. She's 64. She's facing the rest of her life in prison. I don't think, and she has kids, she has a family probably. I don't think she would want that to happen to her. And I don't see why, if things look as bad as they do, it's not like Trump would help her out in any way. He's going to lose everything if things, the way things are going, okay? So that's the reading about Rona Graff. Okay, thanks for listening.